There's multiple ways to break ankles on NBA 2K21, current gen and next gen. But when you want to know the best dribble moves to break ankles?
We get money for the hoes. It's called on a pint, you know how that go. Different city, different hoes. Ran my money so high, might come fucking rose. My wrist on freeze, my hoe, she mad.
If some of you guys remember, I posted a video on NBA 2K20, 5 dribble moves to break a defender's ankles, best way to break ankles on NBA 2K20. But today we're going to end up switching that up. We will be doing it on 2K21, but I'm going to give you more insight of how to do it. Some of the moves that I will be showing you will work on current gen and some will work on next gen. Most of the moves that I'm going to be showing you works on next gen. As you know, there are 2 different builds of the game. I will be showing you how to break ankles on both of the games. So check this out. Before we even get into the video, make sure you drop a like, also subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. But if you see most of these clips are me breaking ankles. Only thing I'm really using is ankle breaker or tight handles. I do not have takeover, and when I do have takeover, I do not have the takeover to help you break ankles like ankle breaking shots. I mostly have sharpshooting takeover. If you didn't know, I'm gonna break it more down into the takeovers when we get to that part. But if you don't have takeover, you can break people. If you have takeover and it's not the ankle breaking shots takeover, you can also still break people. But I prefer you to set this up a certain way. But look, when you're trying to set up somebody to break their ankles, you want to somewhat try to get them out of misposition. You're going to try to beat them to the actual move. So if they're trying to cut you off, that's when you want to try to hit them with a crossover. If you know they're lacking on defense, you're going to hit them with a slide animation. If you're really going for the ankle breaker animation, you pay attention to what your defender is playing you. If he's playing you close, just know you have to somewhat get some space to get some of these moves off, but some of them will help you get your defender off you. But if you guys are on next gen, you will want to check out these 6 right here. These are the 6 I am using in the video. So if you want to use these 6, you can. And for all my current gen players, these are the 6 I use on current gen. This is just a reference on current gen because current gen, I haven't touched current gen in a minute. So if you want to use your 6, you can. But for the video's sake and you want to keep up what I'm doing, make sure you guys put these 6 on. Hey, it's up to you. But for that next gen, guys, next gen, make sure you put them 6 on. I got the best 6 on NBA 2K21. Literally, I have the best and fastest 6 on NBA 2K21. But to break ankles, as you see, I could have been scored the ball. This is just for me getting like clips, me messing around, or just accidentally breaking somebody's ankles. But as we get into the badges, ankle breaker on Hall of Fame, silver, or gold, those will all work. Just know the higher you make it, the better ankle breaker animations and the more consistent you're gonna get ankle breaker animations. That's why most of these times you see people ban ankle breaker from wagers, because it's very overpowered. But when we come to tight handles, if you do not want to do park dribble moves or park animations, you do not want to put this badge on unless you're playing Pro-Am, 5v5, stuff like that. If you're heavy-handed and you click L3, that's literally clicking the left stick down a few times, you will end up getting a park animation. So I would want you to put this on gold or silver if you're really heavy-handed, or reassign your button assignment in the PlayStation settings or the Xbox settings. But for Space Creator, this badge on next gen, it's not really useful. The most I would use this on is silver. The same thing with current gen. If you're on current gen, Space Creator on silver do the job. But mostly those 2 badges of ankle breaker and tight handles, that'd be your main 2. But when it comes to takeover, if you're current gen, you know playmaking takeover helps you get ankle breaker animations, like actually make your defenders fall. The same thing with ankle breaker shots. Ankle breaking shots, do not make ankle breaking shots your primary badge. As me running tests and switching up the actual takeovers and making slasher takeover primary, other shot creating takeovers primary, and still having ankle breaking shots as my secondary, I have seen that when I activate my takeover and not have ankle breaking shots, just one takeover, I still unlock the ankle breaker animations even though I have takeover. That's the reason why you have that and ankle breaker. If you're gonna ask me, should I even have both of them? You don't need ankle breaking shots. You can still end up getting better animations. So if you want to get crazy falling animations, I will end up doing that. But for the first move that we're going to work on is the double crossover. All you have to do is flick your right stick up 2 times to activate this. All you got to do, flick your right stick up 2 times. You can run towards the rim, get a double crossover animation, or you can run left to right and get a double crossover animation. On next gen, I prefer you to go left to right. So if you're going to end up running to the left, flick your right stick up 2 times to get this animation. But if you're on current gen, y'all know what animation I'm talking about. It gives you a little wide double crossover. Y'all know what crossover I'm talking about. It catch ankles, it ends up breaking defenders, it stuns defenders. But check this out. When you actually using this move, you can break defenders very easily off this. I will recommend you trying this, especially if you're using the 6 I'm using and you know how to break out of animations. You will be good with using this move. But for the next move, I'm going to show you this move right here. It's the double behind the back ankle breaker size up animation. This move right here, I've been seeing a lot of people get stunned off this. The reason why is because it's somewhat of a slide animation, a snatch animation. You can have ankle breaker on, but this works very well with tight handles. So if you guys are going to end up using this, make sure when you use this, put tight handles on at least silver. But to do this move, all you have to do is flick your right stick diagonally down to the opposite ball hand. So the ball is in my right hand, I'm flicking down to the left diagonally down, and then I'm going to diagonally down to the right to bring the ball back to my right hand, and we will run to the direction, and you'll get a speed boost animation. Especially if you put on these 6, you'll get a speed boost animation every time. You can combo out of this, so if you don't want a speed boost after you do the double behind the back, you can just keep dribbling. Just keep dribbling, or you can end up doing a move, pass the ball, and get in the bucket. For the next move, this move has been in the game since a long time. I can say since maybe 2K15. The snatch animation, this snatch animation can break ankles. So look, to do this move, all you're gonna do is flick your right stick diagonally down to the left or the right. Remember, opposite ball hand. If it's my right hand, I'm diagonally down to the left, and if it's my left hand, diagonally down to the right. But the thing is, as you doing this, that's for the behind the back animation. If you want the between the legs animation, all you gotta do is flick your right stick to the left or right to the opposite ball hand. So remember, if I'm flicking my right stick to the left, I gotta make sure the ball is in my right hand. If I'm gonna flick it to the right, I gotta make sure the ball is in my left hand. For you guys that want to end up doing that move works a lot. I can give that's a 10 out of 10 move. If you got ankle breaker on, you got tight handles on, you're gonna end up getting a stun animation or ankle breaker animation. You have a high chance of breaking ankles with this move. But getting into the next move is this half spin. The half spin on current gen works way better. You get better animations, but when it comes to next gen half spin, all you're gonna do if the ball is in your right hand, you're gonna do it counterclockwise from 3 o'clock all the way to 12. And if the ball is in your left hand, you're going to end up doing it clockwise 9 o'clock to 12. If you don't understand, it is on the screen for it can help you. I put it right there just so you can have better chance of understanding. But for anybody that does not know this, when it comes to doing behind the back on this game, if you're going to be moving, going up the court, is diagonally down. The same way you do a behind the back standing, it's the same way you do one moving. You flick it diagonally down to the bottom left or the bottom right to actually get the animation. For all you guys that want to do this, you can put a combo with this. Make sure when you're moving, you can run, you can hold R2, you don't have to hold R2, but you will end up getting this behind the back animation every time. But if you want to put it together and do like a half spin behind the back, you guys can. Look, half spin to a behind the back, and you can get an easy bucket, and you can maybe throw a double crossover after that if you really want to. When it comes to you doing this move right here, this move is a between the legs crossover or double between the legs animation. To do the double between the legs animation, it is literally flicking your right stick left to right based on what ball hand it is. If it's in your left hand, you're going to flick it to the right and flick it back to the left to get the animation. But if you guys want to end up doing the between the legs crossover, like I said, between the legs, flick your right stick to the right or the left, and then flicking your right stick up to finish the move, and it will give you this animation. With me doing this move did help me break a lot of ankles. I can say I broke a lot of ankles with this move. It's very consistent. Like I said, I would rate this a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, but it's not better than that snatch. I can tell you that. But if you guys are on current gen and you're trying to do that move, I'm gonna let you guys know it's gonna be harder than it is because it's 2 different gameplays. So if you want to end up trying to do that, it's up to you. Just know you're not gonna get ankle breakers as much. But the next move we have is the behind the back sham god. This behind the back shammy, this move right here breaks ankles, as you've seen in the intro clip, as you've seen in most of the clips that you've seen in the beginning of the video. This sham god is nasty. The behind the back sham god, all it is when you point your left stick to the left, point it to the top or the right to move your my player, and they're gonna end up pointing your right stick to the bottom left or right to do the animation. And then to finish it off, you're going to end up flicking your right stick down, top, left, right. It does not matter what you flick. You can flick it to the top left, top right. It does not matter. When you end up doing the actual behind the back, you can flip it to diagonal down if you want to. It will cancel out the moves to give you the sham guy, and you will end up getting this move every time, literally every time. But if that's difficult for you, you can end up clicking L2 after you do the regular behind the back animation. But for all of you guys that want to end up doing this move has been in the game since maybe 2K14, 15, and 16. It's one of them games that this move was very effective. I think it was 15 and 16, it was really effective. The Snatchback The snatchback on these games, y'all know, all you gotta do is run full speed, or you can end up jogging down the court and flick your right stick down, or somewhat hold it down for a slight little second, but I prefer you guys to flick it. You can hold R2 or you don't really have to, but I usually do this move by holding R2 while flicking my right stick down, basically flicking your right stick towards you to get this animation. And yes, this move does work on current gen. On current gen, this works somewhat more effective than next gen because ankle breaker is more overpowered on current gen than next gen. But check this out. These moves and these ankle breaker animations that you're gonna get, they're working at stage, they're working in park, they work in rec, they work everywhere. When I say everywhere, they work everywhere. It don't matter what they do, you're gonna end up breaking somebody's ankles, but mostly have that ankle breaker, and you could use tight handles in your back pocket and you might get some crazy clips. But make sure you drop a like, subscribe, put on post notifications, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's been your man ChaMoma. Hopefully see you guys in the next one, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.